another Friday down at the shed. This evening we're going to be spending most of our time sanding and prepping the box in the back box in the play field area. Let me get this straight.
The cabinet.
The cabinet. Thank you, Mike.
And the back box cabinet.
Yes, the cabinet and the back box. That's what happens when you start talking before you. So I'm going to start over again. Oh, go ahead. Just stop it. Welcome to another Friday down at the shed.
It's not Friday. It's Monday.
Another Monday down at the shed. We're getting ready to sand and prep I forgot the words again, back box and cabinet. Thank you, Mike. I'm having one of those nights, guys.
We're going on.
This is like the fourth take, so we're just going to go through this one. But anyway, before we get to that, there's something that I want to show you. I find it kind of exciting. So Mike purchased these LED rings to go inside these. So he asked me to manufacture on the 3D printer some kind of holder to hold these in here. And what I came up with was this little ring. And it looks like it's going to work really great. You can see on the back of these there's a place for the wires to connect. So you come in here and align that up with the hole like that. And then this, we'll put that up on the top. The LED on the other side of those connectors is LED 0 in the string. So this sets down right in there. That holds those LEDs perfectly in place and right even with the top. And then the cap will screw over on top of that, clamp it in place. It won't be able to move. And then we'll program some things to do swirling lights and arcs and things like that when we get down to programming. But you'll remember we left a connector down under the board right here where we can add these lights into it. And that'll be something for a time down the road, but we're not going to do that tonight. As I said, tonight is all going to be about sanding and prepping the cabinet and the back box and getting it ready for painting. It's November already. We're going to start getting cold here in Virginia, and it'll be difficult to paint and prep stuff if we don't get this done right now. So we're going to stop on the playfield work for a while until we can get this cabinet done. So that's the plan. We'll bring you in there in a little bit. Bye-bye. So our lighting isn't terribly good back here. We're sitting right at the back door of Mike's shed here just to get some air, but we're staying inside because there's no light out back. And what we're going to start with is, if you'll remember when we took the metal plates off from here, there were some screws or some of those screw nail things that we couldn't get off. We ended up breaking them off. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole right beside that nail, and then we're going to take a punch and drive that nail down and out the back of the box, and we're going to fill that with Bondo before we paint it. And then when we put the new nails in, hopefully there'll be something there to grab too. An alternative thing we talked about doing was drilling this big enough to put a dowel rod in and gluing a dowel rod in that space. I'm not sure that's necessary, but we'll decide that later. Right now we're just going to get the metal out of there so it doesn't tear up our sandpaper as we're sanding. Yep, that's all it takes. So we'll rinse and repeat on the rest of these. can hear it drop.
Okay.
By the way, I have several small roller pans at home. I'll grab them next time.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to do any more roller. Well, we got the back box to do. I guess we can do that next.
We could.
We didn't sand the inside, and like back up there in the back. Do you want to do something with that?
I was thinking maybe we can just get in there and wipe the dust out of it. And then when you go to spray the first coat of white, we just spray in there too. I'm not going to worry about what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it white in there so it reflects light so you
Right.
can get down in there and see.
Sliding instead of rolling. Come on.
Missed a couple of spots underneath there on this side over here too.
You know, I was watching a guy on YouTube finishing this beautiful piece of mahogany he had put together, and he was rubbing on a finish and wiping it off, and this big chunk of mahogany, and the part that was facing the camera, he missed a big spot on, and it was like, it's driving me crazy. It's like, get that spot, get that spot. You know he's going to see it when he gets around to the other side, but
then it might be different.
I'm going to have to get some kind of filler to fill out in that M over there.
Yeah.
I'll do a little research and see what I can find about filler paints or fairing compound. I've never used what they call a fairing compound. I think it's normally a two-part thing. The boat guys I watch do fairing all the time, which is a method of smoothing out the fiberglass, getting rid of all of the little indents and dimples and things, smoothing it out. And I imagine that Bondo would be just as good as a fairing compound for that. And so that's going to wrap it up for the night. We put 2 coats of primer on both the boxes there. You know, for people who don't know it, primer is not a paint. It's not intended to cover or hide anything. It's only there to make sure that the paint adheres well. So it's not a problem that you can see through that right now. So once this is dry, it's pretty well primered all around. And we're going to let it cure overnight. And then we're going to come back with a little Bondo and touch up any of the holes and stuff that that needs to be touched up, sand it down, and then we'll reprimer over those. Then we'll start the actual painting. The primary painting is going to be done with spray gun, not with a roller. So that should be fun. And we were a little quick to put the primer on this. We didn't wait the full hour we were supposed to. We only waited about 35 minutes, and because of that, and you can't see it here, but some of the paint pulled off over here. So anyway, we will probably have to touch that little bit back up again. But that's it. So it's been a fun night. We had a lot of good results, and things are really moving on well. See you next time.